Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Hi, what a crazy evening. Welcome to the Chicago Gallery Cabaret. How are you? I'm sitting here messing with a crazy tablet that doesn't seem to be wanting to actually produce anything, which is fun. Welcome to December. I hope everybody had a very good Thanksgiving and the like. It was a crazy time. And everybody's talking about like spending tons and tons of money. I think John's coworkers are like, "Oh, did you go shopping on Black Friday?" And John's like, "No." And they're like, "What about your wife? She probably shopped like mad." And he's like, "No, she doesn't like to shop," which is so awesome. So we just didn't do anything. We just set up a Christmas tree and stuff. We hung out, set up the Christmas tree, and then he went off to travel to India. John is gone this week, and he's in India for business, and it makes me feel bad. And I was looking into trying to actually go and join him, and I found out that women are pretty much second-class citizens there. They're not given any respect at all. You're not. Here's a good one. You don't speak unless you are spoken to. Which I can so see myself doing, and you're like, all right, I'm just going to join you, and I'm not going to talk. That so seems like me, right? But he was talking about things, and I'm going to try to key this up. I'm going to do this way so everybody, because I can't get this thing to work. And let me see what other pages we've got here. Oh, I know. But the one thing that was nice about what he's doing is that he was able to call me from, this is the fun thing about this new computer. Oh, I should try to use that. Well, no, he gave me a thing, it's supposed to be a laptop, and it's not working, or as a tablet, and it's not working as a tablet right now. So I'm going to be reading these things from, treating it as a actual computer instead of and it just went away. There you go, that's awesome. I love this machine. It's the best. Unable to connect to internet. Go to hell. I never wanted to connect to the internet. There we go. I'm just going to leave it at that. Sorry about that, you guys. That's what you get for having new technology. I thought, I'm going to print these poems up so I have something to read. I'm like, no, I've got this thing here. I'll just read from it. That worked well, so that works out swimmingly. I think I'm going to have to get back to my paper methods in the future. But he calls me, and it's from his cell phone because I've got Vonage. It's still free, even though he's on the other side of the planet, which is great. But he says to me, and I even worked on making this into a Twitter-length poem, which is the only reason why I started getting a Twitter account in the first place. In a bathroom in India, he saw shoe prints on a toilet seat. Because to avoid contamination, men squat on toilet seats to go to the bathroom. He went to a bathroom and he was like, I'll put the seat down so I can go to the bed. And he looks and he's like, what is this dirt on it? And he said, wait, no, they're actually footprints. And he's like figuring it out. He said, no, they were just figuring out because they didn't want to get too contaminated by touching where other ass skin went or something. I don't know. So he's like,
wipe it down.
I was like, okay, fascinating. But then and this is so strange, trying to use a computer sideways. Really kind of soft. But, here we go. Go to the next page. Because I did write a little one here, which I thought was appropriate because we're both left-handed, John and I know a number of people around here are. And I said, what are you going to do when I heard this news? But here is a thing called unclean left hands. Don't use your left hand in India. That's the hand used for wiping after defecating. And for that reason, the people in India believe that the left hand's unclean. So while in India, he washed his hands after using the public bathroom, saw others do the same, but he saw one man put soap on his right hand rub it with the back of his left hand, and then rinse his right hand. His left palm never touched his right hand, or soap, or water. So I guess I see they have more reasons to believe their left hand's unclean. And think about that. If it's not clean, you're not even going to actually wash your hands with it. At least as one person did. I'm like, you've got it. This is crazy. So, but I'm not gonna, other than my dressing as plainly as I could, because that's how I would have to dress. Keep yourself as covered as possible. Probably for, forego jewelry, but have a scarf so if you need to cover your head. I tried to do that for that, but I actually wrote a poem this morning. Back in the day when this open mic started at Cafe Aloha, David Rubin was doing dreams poems, and I started doing dreams poems, and they usually just stories of dreams, and they were goofy. And I think I see another open micer. Hello. I have to find a list for you, my darling. But last night I had a dream, and I actually wrote it out as a poem, and I thought it was actually pretty good, so I wanted to share it with you. This is a poem called Out of Place, Dreams 12/3/13. I was leaving one of my fallback hangouts in Chicago in the middle of a dreary, cloudy day, not unlike today. I apparently was there alone, but I ran into someone I was once friends with. We broke off our friendship years ago, but we attempted to talk, to be cordial, almost in an attempt to be friends or to rekindle a friendship, though being together seemed disjointed and out of place. And it disappeared. This is why I love technology. Because this is a laptop. I'm going to have to start this thing again, and I apologize, you guys. He gives me a laptop to work. How? You're not connected to a network. Why the hell did you ask me that? Because I don't want to be. I apologize, everybody. I'm going to start this one over again so that I don't. It just disappeared as soon as I opened it. I apologize. The best I can do. I'm not even going to rotate it. I'm just going to deal with this. I'm going to start this again, and I apologize repeatedly. This is Out of Place, Dreams 12/3/13. I was leaving one of my fallback hangouts in Chicago in the middle of a dreary, cloudy day, not unlike today. I apparently was there alone, but I ran into someone I was once friends with. We broke our friendship years ago, but we attempted to talk, to be cordial, almost in an attempt to rekindle a friendship, though being together seemed disjointed and out of place. As we were leaving to go to our separate cars, to go our separate ways and drive to our separate lives, I asked what she was doing later, and she said she couldn't. She had plans. I never asked her anywhere. I never asked where her children were. She just cut me off and told me she couldn't. So she looked at the rows of Chicago houses on the block where we were walking. I always loved the square homes here with flattened roofs. This neighborhood was always my favorite place to live. She mentioned someone living in a Chicago home like this, and then she finally said that she couldn't live here. The second floor, the way it's slanted, you probably can't feel it, but anything can come sliding off that floor. And just then, I could see a vibrantly colorful bird sliding off a slanted window awning and falling into a plant bed in front of the house, hitting a wooden stake and disappearing into the folds of the greenery. I don't know if that colored bird lived, but I couldn't see any trace of that bird moving again. You see, We were once friends. We used to be close. We laughed and gossiped back when she thought I was her best friend. But I know how morally different we are. She could be cordial, but I know what's underneath her facade. Because even if we tried, I know we'd never get that friendship back. Sorry about this mess at this point. See, the thing about this thing is it's a laptop, and when you close it, it's supposed to become a tablet. And since you see that nothing's appearing there, something's going on with this machine. So I apologize for that mess. But I will tell you about stuff that's coming up with issues of cc&d and Down in the Dirt in future. And I will tell about collection books, but I'm tired of being up here and screwing up and making mistakes because of technology. I'm such a Luddite. So I would like to call it my handy-dandy, wonderful, sexy sidekick. Please give it up for the mobster himself, Mr. Bob Rashkow.
Thank you.
See, this is supposed to have something on. No, we got microphones. It's okay.
Well, the 2013 Gallery Cabaret series is almost at an end, and I just want to thank all the multitudes of people for coming out and supporting us. All our wonderful fans here and at the Cafe on Lincoln in the past. And anyway, fuck that shit. I'm going to get right to it. Peter Cottontail rescued. 1 second. Peter Cottontail rescued. He was ushered in from the freezing cold. The garden of luxury welcomed him home. You'll never guess. He's safe and secure and nearly as rich. Never before has he felt so well in. Just try to guess. But oh, he can still feel the tumult of that mass exodus, hurled into the air and tossed down again like a starving rabbit longing for a hutch. Shaken to the very core. It might happen again. He understands that. Peter smiles, arranges his desk, polishes his necktie, replaces his pens. Can you but guess? We're not allowed to tell you. It's strictly classified. You'll have to guess. Or forge ahead and start your own detection. Play Julian Assange and sniff out the facts. We who know already dare you. There's still a great many out there who've not fought their way back. We'll see to it that your new lodgings are as freezing cold as a winter on Rabbit Hill. But for now, don't take it so to heart. Survival of the richest is a learned art. For now, keep guessing. This is called Toss a Life Away. And it's based on the actual events of Marquette Park in, I believe, 1967. Here is the box filled with sand. Here the swings on the monkey bars. Children run up and down this vast expanse of green. Roses and daffodils spring up to greet them as they wander carefree by the garden. A park should be like this, always just this way. But today it's 1965, pardon me, that was 1965. On the southwest side of Chicago. Today this park is a place of battle. Today, a stone just misses my head. It whizzes easily past and finds its target. Today, another larger stone hits a Negro boy's cheek, forcing blood. It's red blood, but no one notices. The one who tossed the hateful rock resents this boy, for his mother has this idea. She would like to raise her hopes, improve her lot, climb one step higher on the monkey bars, and move 3 miles west to a 4-flat in the Marquette Park community. Until now, a community of light skin. Until today, a showdown in the pretty park, a fight with both sides claiming rights. Reverend King is here, brandishing a bullhorn, pleading for mercy, for understanding. A chorus of brown faces calls and responds to the reverend's prayers, but no one notices. A Negro aunt, or grandmother, or sister, or spinster is injured by a hurtling stone. She falls, hurt, screaming. Someone calls the police. The police take their time. It's time to leave. Oh, the police take their time. Every last enforcer is white. It's time to leave, but no one notices. A shock of gloom is fogging the air. A cloud of fright is hovering on the park. A crowd of gapers is slowly moving back to cars, homes, kitchens, to the safe, locked realms where they can try to forget about what happened today. Is two more okay, Janet?
Oh, if you must. Two more is wonderful, please.
All right, the doors of language. This is the epigraph. The doors of the new year open like the doors of language. Octavio Paz from his poem El Primer de Enero. All it takes is the night watchman. With his lock, the doors will be shut tight, never to open again. Grammar, language arts, vocabulary, spelling lessons will be obsolete. Reading will no longer be an option. The words will be fed on a copper and quartz platter for the mere click of a button, not the brief flick of a page. No more printed material. They will excuse themselves by reminding that no more felled trees, long live Squirrel Square, long live the new natural environment. We will receive short, crisp sound bites of one word, more than mints for everyone, proclaim, one word phrases, more than mints for everyone, proclaim the network news anchors. There is a very, very thin line between the recognition of a word and the familiarity of a tone, between the definition of a term and its inevitable distortion, between the comfort of hypnosis and the burden of discovering between the sweetness of reward and the coated pill of insurance. What language will we use to clarify and color our new meanings when sentences are supplied by random electronic units, dripping like pistols into our weary, cynical, nothing sacred minds? Will you please shut the door? I'm trying to watch this show on TV. Finally, I've aired this several times before over the last few weeks, but I love it, so I'm going to read it again. This is called Good Thing, and it's based on Jessica Goldberg's play, which Poor Theater performed in its Midwest premiere at Rivendell Theater in Edgewater a couple of months ago. Good thing, where have you gone? I came back to claim you for my own, but all you did was throw me a party. Your way of saying, welcome back, baby. You grab your newborn son to your bosom. Can't you see he's slipping out of your grasp? Let him loose, damn it. In the process of becoming who? Who gave you this unexpected gift? Look at her, look at her. Don't you see it? Oh, come on now. There has to be a way to make you see that this tiny gift is not yours. It cries out for my long-lost mother, the love that can't be replaced, not ever again. Thank you.
Thank you.
I should learn to start doing things like, well, the next poet on deck, so they have a clue, is Howard. I'm going to call you up in just a moment, but I wanted to show first about the fact that we've started revealing some of our annual collection books from Scars Publications, and I run cc&d and Down the Dirt magazines, and they get so many short stories that I had to run 2 prose collection books. This one is the really long stories one. My husband comes by to me with this really dilapidated headphone set, and he says, "The runner didn't make it." And I thought that was really funny, and so I put that in the sand. I said, hey, you guys, don't listen, read, because we got a lot of really good long stories in this one. But since we were in the sand and I had another story to come up with, we brought a table out, and we decided to call this one Bare Minimum, because it's got a lot of really, really cool short stories in it as well. We also did an annual poetry collection book with accepted materials from cc&d and Down the Dirt magazine, and That one is named after one of the poems in it from Eric. This poet is Sociopath. It's got this mangled up pencil on it, which is awesome. And because I had so many problems with internet, or not internet, but with actually using technology to reach you, I thought I'd read something called Vengeful Phone, which is one of the things in here that appeared in it. I don't have a smartphone. I have a vengeful phone. It always accidentally calls my ex, who's still on my speed dial, whenever I'm ranting about how much I hate him. So this is what technology brings to you. There are a lot of really cool phones and pictures and magazines and this as well. And I'm going to stop talking about the magazine stuff because I'd really love to hear what Howard has to say. Please, ladies and gentlemen, scream for me. Give it up for Howard. Come on, Kelley. You're not the sociopath.
Oh, thank you.
Unless you want to be.
I'm not the sociopath.
And I probably should say to the group, by the way, they always say that the NSA is like, spying on us and everything, and I want to say that I'm in cahoots with them by video recording this and posting this up on YouTube. If somebody has a screaming problem, then I can pull you, but, otherwise we're going to let the world know what you're really all about, so.
Thank you to the NSA for keeping me sane and keeping me recorded at all times. I am owner and operator of a successful after-dinner mint company in a country known for famine and fresh breath. I am the sole heir to every thought I've ever had, especially the brilliant ones, the ones I kept locked away at open mics, trying to shove a key into the microphone and turning, getting drunk for forgetting to book a hotel in my home city, knowing less about real than imagined worlds, able to pull a map of Portland when your hometown was nothing more than a burnt-down stadium. Incomplete like Saturn's proposal, like any celestial proposal when no answer is expected, a lonely space crush, when your body is upturned and becomes an asteroid, when it gets closer to the Earth's surface it becomes the size of all of Texas's citizens standing for the national anthem. When the drill goes off inside your head and you're the only one lined up and you're frightened and paranoid, often of yourself and what might occur between your two hands. You hiccup and might not get it back. Whole kitchens being remodeled with human features. I made a pancake on the small of your back. Took your temperature with you wearing your sister's bra. Telling your friends about our lovemaking. Me sure they enjoyed it more than you. That they were way more present than me, having heard about it and giggled. I stopped giggling and became a serious racer, a cab driver with the running meter of your breath. I knew if I were to stop there, you would be so angry that I had broken convention, not brought you to climax, that you would tear down the town statues of me, go into my head, the rooms in which they are kept, and tear down limb from limb the bronze from the copper wire kazoos I used for celebrating myself at all times. Regardless, the occasion being alive, the sex male, the need nothing but this want, the safari, the veldt of sinking sand and sad-eyed girls who might be lonely if not for the idea of suicidal romances. Sid and Nancy, Romeo and Nancy, Juliet and the siphoned photos of a garage in her head stored with cavalcades. She would provide the cross on which she would be hung. She was aware of the shootings in the area around her chest. She was aware of the break-ins around her heart, and watched televisions leave every time she saw hair gel dripping off a young, oversexed imagination. A pogrom of sorts against the hope of intelligent love persons, personage and love being so one against another that it was no more than a man being caught in a storm cloud, a man in an anger. I am listening to track 7 of a Christian gospel album, and it is still about Jesus. Looking at the 50th woman I have thought about fucking that day, never doing it until we find some childlike connection about wanting to be in the same treehouse. She thinking she can stop my heart from beating. She thinking she can stop me from tearing it down. She leaned against the chest of my vending machine and banged at it as she had been ripped off, though she had put no quarters in. A man with an unended smile came along and bought her that Coke.
It's a crazy time of year.
Where it's like, well, I just got one piece and I don't know, and blah, blah, blah. And there was just so much holiday stuff going on, and I think I might have somebody come up here and read something about Black Friday. But I am first going to take some time, because I've got all these publications that I've got to share with you. First thing, I do release books from individual people. Some of you have heard the name before of CEE. He's got the longest title under the sun. He's just got this book out. And because I've read so much stuff of his and talked about him so much, sorry, I'm not going to read anything of his now. I'm not going to do it. I've done so many other things, but one of the chapbooks that we have been releasing and that we are looking into making into a book, I've got a proof copy of it right here from Kara Lozier-Chenoin. This is how a bullet behaves. I enjoyed actually taking pictures of bullets and shell casings for this one. And when I read this, I actually found one poem in it that I said, hey, I'd like to accept this for a future issue of cc&d magazine, which runs 6x9 and will be ISBN Books in 2014. This is from Kara, and this is from this book, and it'll also be in, I think, the July-August issue of cc&d in 2014. This is a poem called Need. You, sun-whipped reddish-brown, and tasting like the watered saline of sweat, limbs weary, eyes half-lidded with exhaustion, were the home that I returned to that night. And I, all clingy skin against cool cotton, aching for that imprint of your face on my curved neck, have never known such peace as you and I. Kara. Very awesome. And as I say to my husband, I knew that I couldn't get all gooey on that one. That's a very sweet piece. I'm sorry, and I'm not going to get gooey with the feature because our feature is freaking awesome. I'm going to give it up for Michael Hoag. We'll get to talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, we've got an awesome thing coming up from him, which I'm still looking forward to. And I think he just scheduled a feature for 2014. And I believe he scheduled a feature for 2014 as well, because we have just gotten the 2014 schedule available and dates are filling up. If you go to www.chaoticarts.org/thecafe, since that was where we actually started, it was at the cafe for the Cafe Gallery, you can actually find scheduled stuff. But issues of cc&d and Down the Dirt came out. I don't have my cc&d because somebody bought it off me, so I'm going to have to look on my little laptop, which is supposed to be a tablet, but isn't seeming to be one right now. But Down the Dirt came out as well, and they've got this really cool, like, water exploding under the sky thing from Kenosha, I believe, up in Wisconsin. So I thought I'd read a bunch of little pieces because I like to read pieces from other people, somebody even asked me about setting the psychiatrist. So I was going to read one piece from it just because it's all about hopelessness and futility, which I believe some people might feel at the Christmas season with everything that's going on. This is Seeing a Psychiatrist, Hopelessness and Futility. I walked to a licensed psychiatrist, and I talked to him recently about the problems I'd been having lately. She looked through my medical records as I explained that I was living on various medications that didn't help with the swelling in my joints, making it harder for me to effectively do the non-profit work that I do since I haven't been able to hold a job in my own profession since the near-fatal car accident well over a decade ago. And how does this make you feel? She would ask. Well, it has emotionally been very difficult, I'd say. After looking at my records, she said, it says here the doctors informed your sister that you would be more emotional after the brain injury as that you actually suffered from that car crash. Yes, that's what they said. But before the accident, I felt that I was invincible at succeeding in my profession in my 20s, having control in my life. But only after the accident happened did I even consider the idea of suicide or genuinely wishing that I was dead. Continuing to look over my medical records, she said, it seems that you've survived so much already, and what you've gone through is entirely normal. The accident was severe, but you're making a miraculous recovery. The worst part is over, and things will get better. That's how she finished our session. But she never explained how to cope with the feelings of hopelessness and futility. Sorry, moody stuff. Sorry, thank you. And in honor of moody stuff, because I've got two that talk about dysfunctionality and family, and this one's about a girl talking about it, I'll go to this one. Kelley Shackelford, Daddy's little toy. Small eyes look up questioning why she must endure the pain of being his amusement ride to beat and bang at his pleasure. Her daddy's little, worn, ragged, broken toy. Kelley, thank you. I can't appropriately clap because I've got all these previous. And because I thought this was really funny, I have to share that in this another issue, Roland Stoker, probably Stoker, Stoecker. Roland, this is yours. Really short one, Drunk Father. This is how they tie them all together. I'll tie them all together. Drunk Father. My sister and I would huddle in silence as the storm raged inside our home. Roland. I know it. Thank you, Roland. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm done with the lead of these things, although I've got another moody one. This one is S.R. Mirren's writing Poppy. And I think of this because when they go and they give out donate and you get a little poppy thing. I have one from when we did that and I kept it.
Oh, that kind.
That's what I thought of when I saw this, but then when I read it, I'm like, oh, I think that's what they're talking about, but that's what I thought of. This is Poppy. Why is it my poppy plastic with papery petals so small against the vastness of history? Its redness dulled not by blood of forgotten enemies or armies, only by marching of time. Like memories of those Flanders fields where lives fertilize the ground, to Fallowfield and Umstrom, and neat rows of poppies silent in their November boxes. F-R-M-S. And I've got two here. I don't know which to do. This is by Marlon Jackson, and I'm only doing it because the title of it happens to be the name of the magazine, Down in the Dirt. So this is Marlon Jackson, Down in the Dirt. So cool it is to read all types of different things. Aloft, I seem to be sailing above the air and winding across as if I have wings. Yeah. But on earth, the ground shakes, and down in the dirt, unexpectedly, are earthquakes. But in my spirit, amongst a wad of opportunities, but I'm blind to the bigotry, and I see so much scenery. Down in the dirt, where the pressure crushes, desperate measures drop deep, and I do my best to clutch a seat. And I hold on to dear life, stamping hard on the ground with my feet. Down in the dirt by Marlon Jackson. And he's on Facebook, so he might actually see this one that gets up on Facebook before I even send the email to him. But this is my last one I'm going to do from this, and I'm so going to be done with this magazine. This is Mentor, and it is by Jason D. Cooper. From hidden cocoon to lapis butterfly wing, I transform in your eyes. As storm cloud skies clear to azure horizons, I come to shine in your eyes. Just to immerse in sun-dappled waters, I would drown in your eyes. Jason. Down in the Dirt. Thank you. I am done talking about Down in the Dirt today, and now I'm going up to bring up a man who actually has the 2013 date book, because I'm still reading things off of it, because what I do is read things every week from it and put it up online, and you can have like almost every week or something there's going to actually be a video for a poem from this weekly date book. And so Tim, come on up here, my darling. I think he's got one or two to read this. You'll have to say who the authors are.
Right.
Black Friday.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, Tim. Thank you.
Go, Tim.
Woo, Tim.
Alright. So yeah, this is a style-bound poetry calendar. Also, it says After the Apocalyptic on here, and it says 2013 date.
That's because in 2012, the world was supposed to end, right? At the end of 2012. So this is the date book after the apocalypse. You got it figured out, man. We survived it. We.
So I'm reading Black Friday. It's by Russell Rowland. It's on page 118. And it's next to November 17th. That whole week. And it goes like this. As soon as our bowels have moved Thanksgiving dinner into the septic system, comes the thickest newspaper of the year. Good for housebreaking a dozen pups. Nobody killed this year on Black Friday, unlike other...
Something in French?
Yeah, it's French, guys. Vendredi Noir. The one creative woman pepper sprayed her way through earlier arrivals at her Walmart. Store doors slid open at digital midnight, harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd, slipping in their own collective Pavlovian saliva, people came in herds. By sunrise, a post-shopping lassitude like that which follows sex. Astrologers, 3, Orient, approached the service desk. Ask refunds on gold, myrrh, frankincense. Ask pardon of the divinities still in diapers for thinking treasure only what is snatched from slow hands of competitors who look like one's own grimace in the shaving glass. We got one more. Same book. This is called Louder and Noisier by Christopher Hivner. The party has gotten crowded. Too many people in the room with drinks in their hands and nothing in their eyes. Talking out of turn, tongues hiding behind their teeth like vipers. The telephone rings, but I can't find it. The phone rings and someone says hello. A voice that I recognize with when hours turn to days without sleep. The voice lulls me like white cap waves. It doesn't convince me because I have blood in my veins, salt in my eyes, and I'm an idiot on my throne. The party is too crowded. I can't keep the smoke off of my skin or my eyes off of the woman. Where did I disappear to?
Because right about now is the time that I'm going to say that Michael Hoag is a phenomenal feature this week, and we've been totally looking forward to it. And I get to sit here and and hold off my handy-dandy bag and put your life savings into it because this man so deserves it. And I don't have pockets, so I just had to shove whatever I had in it. And I kept you here because I could bring it to you, and you could pass it along to whomever so that everybody could have a ton of money and put it in. You're putting money in for a great feature, Michael Hoag, this evening. You're passing it around to everybody else so that everybody else can put in a ton of money for this awesome guy. For sure. He's so worth it, trust me. And I am going to hype him more, but I had to get that out. And in the meantime, he gave me that book, but now I'm going to have to grab my other book because I missed out on it. Oh, ta-da. Where'd it go? There it is. That's how I leave a stage. Yep, put money in, pass it around, put in your life savings. I would say don't put in change, but with this economy, I'm sure we'll take anything, really. It's bus money, it's awesome. I was trying my collection of books throughout the year, The poetry collection book also has a weekly calendar. Some of the really short ones from it appear in there. And that one matches with that poet and sociopath. And there's a poem in there called Forget It, so I had to say, this is Don't Forget It. And because this guy is coming up here, Gerry Pendergast, I looked at the schedule and he had something accepted in a 2013 issue of cc&d. And maybe he would actually read something from this in addition to his stuff. So please give it up for Gerry Pendergast.
Good evening. Monroe, 5th President of the United States, hosted dinner, lunch, and sometimes breakfast seminars for rich white guys. Wrote up a doctrine, still used it as an excuse to call Latin America and the Caribbean islands our backyard. Monroe, a street in Chicago, running east and west. 2300 block, the scene of an assassination, this date in 1969, of one man aged 21 and one man aged 22. Officers in the Black Panther Party, Illinois. Helped some gangs negotiate a truce, ran a breakfast program for hungry kids. Assessed as a threat to our nation from an FBI desk. The assassins wore no sheets, no hoods. They wore police uniforms, led by State's Attorney Hanrahan. This Sunday, the 8th of December, James Douglas Morrison would have been 70 years of age. This is a teenager was listening to The Doors being featured on a local rock station 10 years after his death. So he's not Twittering anyone, that's why, because they don't have Twitter yet. Ned stretched out on his mattress, sketch pad on the floor next to him. I took a trip down to America, came the voice on the radio. The local classic rock station was featuring The Doors. It was the 10th anniversary of the release of L.A. Woman. America. Ned wondered, did it include just L.A. County, stretched to the Valley? Ned figured Venice Beach had to be a part of it. He began to sketch a beach with beige and light brown colored pencils, and flanking it with blue ink for the ocean. Straight lines for a sidewalk with ruler and regular #1 pencil. A jester mime-like figure on a bike, like the one on the Strange Days album. He was juggling. A small crowd gathered near him. Probably looks too much like a Chicago beach, Ned thought. Sketched a palm tree in the sand near the crowd. Or was he thinking about border areas? Latin America? Any place where Spanish is spoken on the American side of the, on the American side of the world, with or without other languages. La also, Spanish feminine the. Could it be the feminine side of the Americas? Ashen lady, give up your vows, came the voice on the radio, harmonica answering. Ned sketching a 2-lane highway, a truck approaching a structure along the side. A peek inside the window showed food being prepared, beer being drawn from a tap. Human figures at the bar, vaguely in focus. Ned wanted it to suggest a roadhouse or a cantina. Antennas from a one-story structure on the right-hand edge of the sheet. The letter K distinct on the outside. The rest of the call letters indistinct. Wa'America, Wa'America, Ned sang to himself, sketching a woman in a long dress playing an accordion, a man on guitar, close up on the fingers, and a teenage girl singing into the microphone and clicking castanets, body swaying. Announcer and sound engineer on either side of them. What Ned imagined when he heard the term border radio. On the right-hand side of the sheet, a living room, a large radio, mom, dad, and a crawling baby. Friendly strangers came to town. Ned sang as he sketched a cactus on a desert palm. I'm sorry, Ned sang as he sketched a cactus on a desert plain at dusk. A small figure, human-like, but with a blue, small round head, examining the cactus plant. To trade some beads for a pint of gold, he sang as he drew a somewhat tallish man in a suit and tie and a briefcase entering a drugstore. Dark hair and facial features resembling Jim Morrison. Ray Manzarek sitting at the counter, turning when the traveler walked in. A film crew on the street outside. Next to the scene, a group of 6 people building a home and planting seeds. I like to mentally divide a sheet or a canvas into panels, kind of like a comic strip. Ned once told friends from an art class during an informal seminar at their favorite cafe. Ned came back from the kitchen sipping water and humming, wondering if Morrison was thinking about a small gold bar or gold some kind of whiskey. Could America be any place where music with a Latin flavor is played, in any language, with or without vocals? Ned thought as he sketched a garage and 3 teenage girls, one picking a guitar, hands crossing, one on organ, the third hitting cymbal and snare drums, intense smiles, Los Exploradores on the drum kit. The trio reappeared on the next sheet and on the final sheet of Ned's La America series, playing on a street stage. The guitar player front stage with knees bent, Hendrix style, but with a wider stance. Someone with a brush in hand painting the initial section of a community mural on the side of a wall of a grocery store. Its title would be Near the Border. The first section would be portraits of the trio Ned had just invented. Should I show them on the front porch, on one of their front porches? Maybe walking together. He began sketching them as he imagined them with the guitar player in the middle. On a street, a half-torn-down apartment building across the street from them. Next to a fenced-off vacant lot, a sign reading, "Condos coming soon." Last, in the final section of the sheet, a desert at sunrise. He began outlining the body of a Border Patrol truck, but then stopped. But how would it look, he thought, to someone crossing? Ned paused. There's a little more time.
Yes, you got it. It's yours.
Well, as Christmas is coming, Hanukkah was with Thanksgiving, but hey, there's Kwanzaa, and the 26th is Boxing Day in Canada,
Yep.
St. Stephen's Day in dear old Ireland. Anyway, here, this is called Rural Santa something county, as in Clara or Barbara, something like that. Monsanto monarchy. In rural Santa something county, mono crop growing. Crappies, bluegills, swim in a lake nearby. Heavy metal claws turn soil over. Clause in the contract says no seed saving. Seeds pre-pesticided, fields irrigated with metal monster. Will the runoff reach the lake, the groundwater? Do the faucets trickle slowly in the house on the farm, not with the Monsanto program? A guy in a Santa suit at Walmart grand opening in town, ho ho hoing. Does his voice sound familiar? Have you seen him entering, leaving Monsanto's office? Or was it outside a courthouse? Better watch what you say if you're near the line to see Santa. Okay,
People talk about the ability of Monsanto, and I love to say, well, my husband worked for Monsanto. Well, you know, if you're a cog in the wheel, you just do a job, right? You're not.
well, I have friends who served in the military, and I think they should get the benefits the government promised them.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, actually, in recent years, the only people that have called me a bad citizen for not agreeing with the war are people who think other people should go, but not them. I have a request for this from our host and publisher.
But that's because it was published in an issue of.
And because it's in an soon upcoming print issue of cc&d, which stands for Children, Churches, and Daddies. I go to church occasionally, like sometimes for special masses for Monsignor Oscar Romero, who was assassinated in a little further south in Monroe Street.
Well, the magazine talks about the dysfunctionality of those things.
Right.
So it's dysfunctional things in the magazine.
And my wife and I, speaking of the season, are extreme heretics, not because we haven't been to church much lately, because when our boys were growing up, we read them the story the night before Christmas. Okay, but we never told them there really was a dude named Santa Claus that drives a sleigh in the air with reindeer and goes down every chimney of every kid in the world that hasn't been bad. And my sister-in-law asked Kevin, my older son, what did Santa bring you for Christmas? She didn't get it when he looked at her like he didn't know what the hell she was talking about. But anyway, I will I'll honor this request. I certainly appreciate Janet for publishing this, because this poem called Letter to a Stranger was rejected several times, of course, by some editors who have no taste. Last night, I sat on the living room rug watching the all-night movie that flashed upon the wall in this house I have constructed. I grabbed my pistol and sprung to my feet when I heard the trapdoor creak. You rose from the basement, drew me towards you with your crystal medallion. I laid down the pistol, took another step forward, but you slid back into the basement and locked the trapdoor. I shifted my eyes back to the wall. A quintet on stage. I sway gently to a guitar solo. When lead singer stepped back to the mic, her medallion had a crystal stone. I turned off the projector, but the images remained. Her voice, or was it your voice, still in my head.
And I should tell people, unbelievable because there are people that are from here that have been published in here, like Gerry, or Janine Rapsloot, or Tom Roby, or Tom Curry, or Buddha. There's something from Buddha in here as well, in this daybook as well. And I saw a notice from the printer that said, if you order anything by the 10th of December, and you have it delivered by Christmas, it'll be delivered by Christmas. If you put in the code word, you'll get the shipping free, which is awesome, cool, because you can actually get it to you, which is a great deal. If you're interested, go to lulu.com for actually getting a copy of this. Because I've got mine, so I'm all good. I don't need to get another one. But I figured, because this next guy that's up here, Eric Esden, for some reason, I just love hearing this man's voice. And so I was going to read something from this, but then I thought, wait, he was talking about holiday things in December, so I thought I'd look in December and say, hey, what's going on? Oh, yes, the 7th would be what they call Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, since that was the day for Pearl Harbor. And I'm looking, friends from high school's birthdays on the 8th. Hey, Bob Rashkow's birthday is on the 9th. That's a reason for celebrating, because I'm not even going to see him before we get to go, so happy early birthday. I can't even clap proper because I'm clapping on my hip. Winter solstice on the 21st. Hey, Sid Yunus's birthday is on Christmas Eve. Did you guys know that? Craziness. And yes, Kwanzaa begins on the 26th, and I'm just going to stop talking about holidays and read this thing here that just made me think of something of beautifulness, because that's what I think of when I think of listening to Eric Esden's voice. There's a poem called Us Actually Touching, which, by the way, I look on the calendar because I'm doing this, I'm like, I had a dentist appointment this week. And Esteban Colon was the feature this week. Sorry, that's what these calendars are good for. Sorry, this is Us Actually Touching. I heard a physicist explain that when two solid objects are pressed together, they never actually touch. I can't imagine it, but maybe because electrons repel, all objects remain one molecule apart. I wonder if this is why, when I see you and when we embrace, I want to hold you tighter and tighter. Because I want to defy the laws of physics and feel that connection with you as long as I possibly can. Is this why, when we embrace, I want my face at your neck, so that I inhale you deeply, I breathe you in? Because I want to experience you with all of my senses. I want our molecules to intermingle. I want us to actually touch. I'm not being forward for that person by doing that, but he's just got this great voice. It's like, it's just like it's velvet when you listen to him. He's awesome. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Eric Esden! I had to find something familiar because you sound awesome.
Hi, how are you? One of your poems, you read some of them from some books, influenced me to read mine. In my dreams. In my dreams, I'm flying high in the blue sky of your eyes. In my dreams, I'm diving deep into the sea of your arms. In my dreams, I'm caressing the gold of your hair by the wind of my love. In my dreams, I'm kissing the cherry of your lips, being possessed by its sweetness. In my dreams, I'm obsessed by the art sculpture of your legs. In my dreams, I'm surrounded by the gentle slender of your hands. God, why are you so cruel? Give me her at once, or never awake from my painful sleep. The summer is gone. The summer is gone. On the trees abandoned from the green grass stayed alone. The summer is gone. on the red, brown, yellow wrinkled leaves dancing on the winds, falling off tomorrow. The summer, at its dreams, left the empty branches stripped down even from the tears, confused, and the birds in the air, leaving behind forests and meadows and plains, moving forward, not farewell to the nest. Now is my time to move on, to leave behind everything so, however, couldn't be mine. I'm telling you, farewell, as a chirping bird from afar. Holiday time's coming, so Jessica. One of those lonely December nights, I found you crying, and your face was so wet as another Indian summer-like. And I didn't understand why. We were just expecting holidays time, some after Ramadan, shortly after Hanukkah, but for me so close to Christmas, which I spent alone, perhaps. Stars burning on the sky over my campfire dance, and like abandoned moon lighting the land with Christmas tree lights. Lakota on the wooden knee path, your life and mine. You are adventurers of human nature and soul, which you probably in anybody have never ever found, possessed one. So Jessica, just smile. If someone hurts you, try to ignore. Do not show to anybody how vulnerable you are. Still in the winter mode, La Passionata. Being surrounded by cold, lonely days, merciless winter nights, searching for you, trying to escape from the daily odds, to hermit myself into the arm of yours, to the Latin music blast. La Passionata's dance, the heat of the long fingers of fire sinking into the heart, melting the snow, unveiling blossom of grass. Hip-hop music makes you smile, million stars on the sky go high, avoiding your dark eyes. All of the rhythm of the Latin music, salsa, merengue, hip-hop, the La Passionata's dance, takes us a little closer to you, once mostly one, once almost one, mostly not. La Passionata, I adore you. I'm obsessed by your nature. La Passionata's dance. Just beyond the stars, time of my wandering over the ear ground, in the mood of being calm, exploding, fighting, defending, all out for, taking punches, the stings, arrows and lances, the spades piercing through my pride, and into my heart. Still hoping for the flight, over the sea flat, omitting the moon, the Rubicon, no point of return, to reach beyond the stars. And you, the navigator of mine, giving so cool, frozen smile, fired all their eyes, the blaze which never changed my trace. I'm still going to God, with you, my navigator, passing the galactic equator, to make you be my guest, just beyond the stars.
Actually, he's looking. Well, I'm going to do this when you're not up here. If there's anybody else that would like to come up, I was going to read things from cc&d, and if other people would like to come, if you would like to read more, if you would like to read a few, please do. We've got time. This is our time, man. You can do whatever you like, so I'm just butting in the middle. To tell anybody that if you wanted to read a few pieces, or if our future feature would want to come up to do so, I mean, we've got the time to do it. After he's up, I was going to read things from cc&d magazine, and then it would be a break before the feature. But otherwise, if you guys want to come up, you're more than welcome to.
Lord, another night, you said, When I was feeling so bad, by now I should know you love me, even though I read some old poem I was too intense. I said to him in the verse, not me, the art is intense. I not mean to hurt anybody, even to hurt someone. It was ill. However, by expression on your face, I learned that you love me, and this is not BS. So if you love me that much, why I have the feeling of being hurt? If by you I'm that loved, why do I feel so sad? In addition, tell me, what kind of love is that? What is your love all about? For me, the love is trembling lips, the love is a biting heart, the love is embraced body, the love is a touch. The love is a dream. The love is making love. Am I missing anything? Yeah, well, I'm missing it so much. The love is a whisper. The love is your ear. Just you and only you in my dreams. Love is all being together. When the moon does not want to stop, you smile. When the night never ends, when the day is so cruel because it takes us part. That's my understanding of love. Why am I still alone even though I'm being loved that much? Thank you very much.
Very, very cool. Thank you very much. All righty, I'm your way. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Well, since they're not having the music tonight, somebody should do a song.
Well, there is a band that's coming. They're just starting like at 10:30 or something. So we can take our time. And it's like a mini feature night because we're all just like, hanging on, taking our time for reading and stuff. And now that I've done stuff, I figured out, what if I just start it up and keep it closed, then we'll actually treat it like a tablet. So I have my laptop that's not a tablet. Oh, but now it says, no, not a tablet, screw you. Great, as soon as I do that, I lose it. If I go to reader, there we are. Because somebody bought my issue of cc&d, which was released in the beginning of December, this is the cover. And I used the shot, the photography was by John Haiku, who happens to be in India right now, because it was the last one that would be before would actually be released as a ISBN book as well, and it was the idea of somebody looking out like, hey, what's next for the actual issues for the magazine? So that was why I picked, and I saw that would be a cool cover. But I was going to read a bunch of poems from other people on this to close us out. And as I said, if there was anybody that wanted to end the open mic this way before the feature, let me know. I'll do a shout out or a call out to anybody. This is a poem by Caroline and Simpson, and it's called The Modigliani Daughter. The Modigliani Daughter. Modigliani Daughter. Here we go. Modigliani painted my portrait. The century before my mother hung the poster on her college dorm room wall. Daydreaming, she stared at my effigy. Tall, slender neck, head slightly askew, straight brown hair tied loosely in a bun, long, skinny nose. She stared for hours. In between studying to become the biologist she did, imagining herself to be the wife and mother she would, but never dreaming she'd absorbed Modigliani's crooked ratios, and years later would conjure me up, the Modigliani daughter, graceful and severe. Caroline Simpson. Thank you, Caroline. The guy's like, well, I'm just going to take it from me. I'm just going to take all the short ones and put them in here. I've got the full issue on this thing if anybody wants to see this. This is a poem by Jeff Stinson called Lonely. He reminds me of stained restroom floors and adult bookstores from the 1980s. I go to his house for our first date. His bedroom has a solo, exposed light bulb hanging from the ceiling on an unstable string, and I know how it feels. He playfully tells me to shut up, even though I wasn't speaking, and strangely, I do. He kisses me with violent lips, and I feel like we are at war. I notice his ankle bracelet, the kind signed by the courts. I later look online and find he is a sex offender, and the best date I've had in months. It is so funny. I've got two of them here, and I'm going to give you another one from Jeff Stinson because he's just that awesome. Because sometimes if I got a couple good ones, I'll put them in the same issue. Like in 2014, going through and looking for things from Bill Euro to read, I was like, I like this one, and I like this one, and I like this one. I'm like, I would like to pick two to appear in every issue in 2014. So, I can do that because I'm the boss lady editor girl, so I can do that. So there was two in this issue from Jeff Stinson. This one's a sadder one. This is called The Doctors Were Wrong. I put the open end of the gun into my mouth. It tastes like New Year's Eve, party horns, hats, and whistles. I weep blood as it goes off. Tears splatter on my unfinished poems. The doctors were wrong. There was something wrong with me. Jeff Stinson. I can't probably climb. That's what I get for holding the Noah tablet thing. This one, I believe Bob Rashkow read another one from Neal Wilgus, Truth Fairy, I believe you read. But this, because it was funny because you were saying after the apocalypse with the references because the end of the thing came. What is also funny because we're in December now. This is Apocalyptic Haiku from Neal Wilgus. Procrastination. World will end in December. Put it off till then. Sure, oh, Neal, thank you, Neal. I know, it's like, yeah, don't we all feel it? Oh, yeah. This is a poem from George Gott, and it's called A Suggestion. We were living together as lovers. Also, we ate spaghetti and meatballs and drank a cup of wine now and then. That is all I have to say. As I suggest, we were lovers. Thank you, Gerry. I've got two. Oh, these are, well, all right, they're shorter and they're sad because Mel Waldman seems to do that, and he pulls on your heartstrings because I'm assuming that he is a psychiatrist in New York. Just because I've read so much of his stuff, and I'm guessing that people spill their life stories to him. I don't know, but Mel Waldman, I took these, and these are two of the haikus or short poems that appear in the November-December issue of cc&d V246. This one is Lost. They're asking about me. This is Lost by Mel Waldman. Lost in the vast snow, last man in my universe, breathing snow and death. This one's called Buried in the Snow by Mel Waldman. Buried in the snow, alone in the vastness, the sun melts my coffin. Maybe something else. I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Mel. I know. It's like, how do you go called movie stuff? I know. But thank you very much. And I've got, hey, the thing about, I might as well do, I'm trying to see what ones are here. Oh, I've got all sorts of ones. This one actually is from Roger Cowin, And I believe he lives in the Chicagoland area because he appears in the Chicago Pulse section of cc&d magazine. Because anybody that submits stuff to cc&d, poetry or prose, if you're in the Chicago area, it'll actually get into a section called the Chicago Pulse. And I believe he is in vaguely the Chicagoland area. Roger Cowin. Roger Cowin, this one is your poem. This is called The Secret Jar. These things are yours. These burdens you carry around like so much ash. You own them just as they, in turn, own you. What you inherit, you pass down in the same manner as they were passed to you. You place your inheritance in a jar, bury it in some deep place in the soul's garden. Watch it grow year by year. Roger Cowin. C-O, like Leonard Cohen? C-O-W-I-N. It might be Cowin. Oh, it might be Leonard Cowin. You're absolutely right. It's not C-O-H-E-N. Well, you know, because people. And you look at my name, K-U-Y-P-E-R-S. I've gotten Kuypers, 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 and like it's Kuypers, rhymes with hyper. Seems kind of fitting, you know. But I mean, like, you know, so Roger Cowin, Roger, that was your poem. I'm sorry. I think I can master this name. This is Kelley Jean White, M.D. This is a morality tale. Oh, wait, this is a dog and cat one. This is a pets one. This is morality tale. The dog and the cat were the best of friends. The dog was grateful for the friendship, as none of his dog friends had cat friends of their own. He often offered her his dish of food or a freshly dug up bone. She was not interested in these gifts. She turned away and washed her face vigorously. He wagged his tail at her and barked when she walked by. She found this behavior alarming. She hissed a bit, then stretched and went on sitting. In the sun, bemused by the ways of dogs. Then he, still wagging his tail, ate her food. Thank you, Kelley. Other than showing artwork, oh, this is probably a moodier one. This one is Holiday, and I'm not going to sing the Madonna song, because it was Holiday. Oh, nope, I almost did, sorry. This is, and I had artwork that appeared in the issue, but that's just the way it is. This is a short one called In the End. The descendants of laboratory rats, of humanity, crude, pumped from Arlington Cemetery. Compared to the oil the dinosaurs left behind, the waste will seem limitless, even to environmentalists. Holiday, thank you, thank you. And I'm just going to say that yes, there was artwork. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it didn't bother to say, hey, there was artwork. I didn't put the, hey, Edward Margillo, Drew Supernowitz, and Peter LaBerge, and Aaron Wilder, and Cheryl Townsend, who had been around for so long, and hey, David J. Thompson had a few pieces in there. So there's a bunch of cool stuff in the issue. If anybody's interested, go and bug me for it. If anybody wanted to submit writing, get my email, because I love reading stuff, apparently, from stuff to put in magazines. Is there anybody that would like to read anything?
Read something.
Is that Howard?
It's in the app.
Is that the Howard? So please, ladies and gentlemen, oh, I love this man. Give it up for Howard! No, I mean, at the time.
Okay. All right, I've got some stuff. Reading off the phone now.
If I'm reading, you got a smaller one, but you know, I'm like, I'm doing it, why not? Right.
It's called In God There Is a God. It's a love poem of sorts. Wet underneath the looming eyes of our ancestors, not so much supportive as doing tricks in the fog. Firefighters for the hot kisses, with the rose between them, marking permanent indentations in their tongues, markings that would last them forever. The groom gave a wet, wet wag and was well-watered fed. The dribble he left made her giggle, and the dystopian lows were a thing of the past as they shared eyes. He would shave his head emotionally. He would pound and pat his buddies on their backs and swig salt shakers in a bare Saharan ascetic rite. Pick up rights on the fly on his way down the aisle. His father broke his glasses. Wordless thoughts licked the rose and stuck in a cough he would exchange for flowerless eyes. Running forward, photographs of the wind, and it was enough. You had to be there, but even if you weren't, you could capture such an escape. You couldn't plead with the frosting on the sword used to pick her teeth and plow into her marital nice points. So dulce, to cry, an aged wisdom. Southsider, there is no coat for comfort. Trembling, killing fields became dance floors. In the middle of the conflict, we found each other, turning everyone else's summer into a September. Her clearing her throat of her dead qualities. She was no longer potential, but a loop. Bleeding, the pack above laughed out lace, deployed tasty castles of cake, tasting them all, standing in the middle of sewers, an uncle worming his way out of the cake line to welcome his warm head in the snow. Tired by the owners, we are now uniformly hearts, now unbound soul, a maze that starts with my lips and ends in your thighs. Back and forth, the storm front of expectationless glee. It would take no more captives. We took the fall for all humanity. We would take it all. The punishments and the little tokens of hallstones. The glugging stud I used to be is now a syrupy dope. Her with her hasty cooking, me a gadfly, a bulky wish of a drinker. I wish I had wished for baby stores who cried and were infants. When you set foot in them, you would feel a softness and testing of character. My fingers all hobos until I met her. The yali jolly, feathered water to drink, to confess and access the illusion, like going to the movies with your penis, like learning how to walk twice. Hiccups of experience. How many worms in your wine cross the nerve? How much cider beside her does it take for us to trust each other? I let in light, I was only vamping. Bygone faces I made in hardy days, where the field was full with hand-holding and snow, and we played to the edges of the glass. Towards the back of the house, my goofy paw in hers. Plump chick, plumped from every angle, every bird was a nipple away from home. The doorway golden grinning, reimbursing me for my earlier virginity, my gold vomiting birthstone. Power washed and clueless, I didn't feel ready for any of our dates, and that's what I loved about her. My jingle jangled, judging jungle cats to be weak and ineffective. Roars down my pants were heard by even older women who I would never take to bed. Not because they weren't attractive, but because I feared they would peel me off them like a nail. Until I was part of her tired walk forever, her lowered eyes lowering until they were a kind of carpet, until I untangled her from her arms, eaten by sunlight. I lowered the drug blind over my eyes. She drew doves about her bronze bosom, over the primitive breeze, bold surrogate serpentine, unacceptable contact, halogen night bulbs. No different from opium, it smelled like flowers, dandelion dope thrown, deep independence, toes pointed, Illinois exploded on toast. A bacon baby on its way, the Marlon Brando of perfectly pulled pork. We wafted in the smell of the burns from the slides of her vagina, the same ones I had loved. I called it an ass-kicking afterwards. Out of breath, yo bagel, your daddy's an old doom rider. They pulled Mercury off the altar and inner orgies led to scenery coaching. Thoughtful limerick had my bonehead sick. Jogged memory from nuanced stock, ironing an ironing board, classic. I like you, you're a breather. You're a survivor, a picnic on the water, lily pads. You're a breather, you're a breather, you're a breather. Thank you. I suppose I'll read another one.
He supposes.
I
suppose.
Let's see.
We'd like it.
Thank you.
I would like it.
Okay. All right. This is a kind of a little fiction-y, but I'll read it anyways. Having dinner with the destroyed man, he didn't look up from his plate of broccoli and peas. I didn't know if it had always been just broccoli and peas, or if he'd been designing it the way through a process of eating. He was a military man, no doubt haunted by the residual bodies fighting his own, dead bodies that are never done fighting. The proof is that they died. Let us consider that a significant fight, the kind he trained for up to years later. Let us consider his nose swollen. Any pollen in and any pollen out goes through a kind of depression, and pollen being little more than a sex toy is usually lively. This man who spent times punching the urinal, several times until it hurt looked in his reflection in the mirror like it was a bruise, a body washed up by his waves of anger. He twisted his face into a half smile in the hopes of half pleasing someone. He was in full uniform for his medal unveiling, but he wished he had been in stock and capping night sheath. He wanted to go through childhood again, if only to say the right things, which, as he had inferred then, was of course nothing. Don't ask out any girls. Don't start any friendships. Don't go to work or to school. Dig, dig. In most situations, dig. He hadn't thought enough about the soil or what great work the feet have done as shovels. How nobody says hello to you if you don't bother them. How bullies won't even bother you if they feel you have a strong enough and inner life. They won't forgive you. They won't need to. You having done very little, making scratches against the chalkboards of your eyes. As if I can withstand you not talking to me. As if I hadn't checked up on you like a dish that might burn. I put it all together, how you could only like me if I had nicer clothing. If I hadn't killed a man every morning when I woke up. Feeling the din of day choke all the bullies of night that kept my life interesting. Those who grilled fruit and had plenty of other people to talk to other than me. Those who liked their sweet with an earthy tang of salt, the coarse childhood of pepper, and the sweet drowning needing to be rescued. But still diving, confused as to which way is up. Or maybe she liked it there. Maybe she saw a window or a door underwater and wanted to swim right through it. Thought that if light had made it to the bottom of the ocean when you were drowning, all ocean is the bottom of the ocean. Right up to the top, don't you see that when you are alone and you are underneath the seafloor, you don't need anybody. Even the drowning don't go down underneath expecting to see friends. Even the drowning don't expect arms. The reason seaweed are worse a creature below strokes, your arms feels worse, is because it feels like human flesh, or like it used to be. Like it makes you feel inside out, like a storm brewing in your fist and released as it rains down your skin. Keep it cool, brother, keep it dry. And I think that maybe this applies to sky too, and that every orchard is underwater, and all you take is heartbreak to be in love. All it takes is heartbreak to be in love. As you swim closer to it and get to be with anybody, you've forgotten it. What it takes to need somebody and to be needed as you take care of yourself, and are replacing yourself. You become the new guy. The old guy, a very real trapped prey in a box, only he cares about. This dry talking box. The tongue flag wagging in the wind and its dry brother. Keep cool in the storm. It's a blessing. It's dry, brother.
I would love it if you would read, but
The only thing I'm worried about is my battery might not be able to record my feature. So if you guys are cool, would you be able to hold up, just because I want to be able to make sure that my feature has time to be able to read. I know this is totally, I'm just shocking the crap out of you on this one. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Okay, and thank you, and I hope that you're going to come up here, and Deborah Rosen, I hope you're going to come up here, and Gerry, I hope you're going to come up here, but I want to get the feature, because I want to make sure that I've got the video stuff for him, because some of you guys know him. He is, well, recently, other than reading, oh, I'll just come here and read something on my own, or I'll read something for Bill Euro or something. This is a man who is such, well, the first thing I can say is he is such a an anchor to what this open mic has been, other than like the Bobster and me. I mean, like, this man has been around. He's like, I know this stuff, and I come here and I support this, and I totally support this man, which is why I think I happened to look, because he happened to leave his poems at my desk, and I looked at him like, how did I draw a face? Wait, did I publish that in cc&d? Because I remember that one, and I can't remember if I did or not, because he's got a lot of good pieces, and I love to hear him, and I hope you guys love him too. And I'm going to go hunt you down during the open mic, during the feature, if you didn't donate to this man, because he's so worth it. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Michael Hoag. Come on out for a
Janet, you always give the best introductions. I could use something like that every day.
Aw, no, shush.
I'm going to read maybe a half dozen poems and then a short story. I sleep in a tree, box springs are not for me, in a net off the ground, in the air, I sleep between trees, with coverings under and over, like a skinned mango, like snow in a mug, and tar and lemon. I sleep in a tree, box springs are not for me. Swaying between trees, trees like wipers, trees coordinated, trees like friends, orange trees, trees impossible to prune with random limbs and pulp as hard as a column of water. As winter soil as the edge of a paper, I sleep in a tree, box springs are not for me. Running laps, running between trees, like an ape in my net, under my coverings, like running trees, fast running trees, like talc, like turning wood, like so many circular saws. I sleep in a tree, box springs are not for me. I use my feet to mop, my hair to comb, my elbows to eat, my feet to hand, and my knees to want. I want a tree to be, I'll sleep in a tree, box springs are not for me.
I could totally, that one, I could totally hear Dave Getchell reading that one.
All right, louder then. I love a dead woman. She is underground now and her tummy is full. I made her breakfast that morning. I scrambled 4 egg whites and composted the yolks. I chopped in a green pepper and shredded cheese and a little bit of canned crushed tomatoes because it was winter and fresh tomatoes are bad. And minced green onions and sour cream and a mushroom and frozen spinach because it was winter and fresh spinach did not exist. And I cooked her breakfast in a bowl for 3 minutes, stirring twice, and she put the food in her tummy with the food I held and touched, now touching her. Thank you. Wow. I will take you swimming, and you will be beautiful. The coral will see your knees, and the water will touch your calves. The sea grapes and sweet potatoes will braid your hair and show off all that you never show, and you will be beautiful. You will wear orange. Orange, it highlights your orange skin, and eat bread and drink the sea. And I will take you swimming with red fish and oysters and tame lemon peel angels and purple tangs to feed, and air and lessons to learn to breathe, and you will swim, and your secrets will swim beside you. Some you have told, and others you have not, and in the water will dilute and turn and go, because water is everywhere and dissolves everything. And I will take you swimming, and you will take off your rings and loosen your hair and put away your extension, because hair floats, even thin hair, and nothing weighs in water. And the water will dissolve and color above and below your eyes and turn your feet into decoration, and you will float, because no one wanders underwater or talks, or even in a loud whisper. And seeing is hard, and so is smelling and tasting or feeling and many other senses, because water has no taste or smell and has no feel, but only holds. Okay, I wasn't going to read this, but I think I might since you brought it up. I want to draw a face. I want to start with the far eye and add lines above and below and as many lines as fingers. And I want to outline the nose and angle the pencil parallel to the paper, seeing the nose always caves. I want to isolate lips and make them curl as parallel lines are achieved. And I want to have the far eye stare down and in, while the near eye stares up and out. I want to circle the ears, being ears swirl. And I want to enclose everything in one unbroken line, since lines demarcate. And I want to make the neck easy and as strong as celery. are waxing, or maybe waning. I should look up the difference, but unfortunately things are waxing, or perhaps waning. Keys are getting smaller, and ears are getting bigger, hammers and nails are not working, and cups fail to hold water. Things are waxing, or possibly waning. Faces are away, and heads walk the ground. 10 was 20, and now is 5, and maps fail to represent. Things are waxing, or probably waning. Thoughts smell, and oceans lack color. Hands break, and fingers can't hold a face. That one there has lips, and a nose, and eyes, and forehead, and all angles can't even read my writing. Delineated. And at all angles delineated. And that bowl there has eggs and avocados and tomatoes and spinach all cooked together. And that one eats those eggs, picking away the fatty artichokes. And that one there watches your eyes, peeling away a feeling. And together those eggs and that feeling double and triple and half and quarter until the bowl is empty and the tummy is full. And the feeling is permanent and the feeling is passing. And songs singing at night and water drinking in the morning. And together things go and apart things return. I don't know.
Exactly.
They're both have to do with the movie. Let's go where it's warm and do chores. We'll count the horizons and brush the air clean. We'll find water to wash and everywhere feel gravity. Let's go to the bees and do chores. We'll correct the passive and leave food. We'll number letters and all the time iron. Let's turn around and do chores. We'll toast roasted pollen and clap tree leaves. We'll name our worms and ever to ever polish and sand. Got a couple more. Looking at water, looking at you. You're looking at water with water in your eyes. Turn that water ring on your finger. Curl those 5 fingers around 5 fingers. Run that angle to the ear from that ear. Run that angle down from that way to that chin. Mulberries for eyes, a log for your neck. Curled eyes holding curled hands. Dried stones running pebbled rivers. Dry rain coming down, red stems all around. Run with that mole under that pebbled river. Run with those red stems under that red stem stones. Open that finger curl, take that hand of yours. Wood rings around a wood neck. Dry rain filling a pebbled river. Dry rain on a mole trail, dry stems with dry fingers. Follow those red rocks to that pebbled river. Hollow those logs with those 5 fingers. And with mulberry eyes and water for ears, red rocks for fingers, holding red rocks for fingers. Holding red rocks for fingers with red rocks holding. All right, it's the last poem now. I'm going to read my little story. With pockets, I'll follow the leaves without trees to the Great Lakes. In sheets and layers, leaves settling pockets in the Great Lake wake. Making leaf boats with leaves from trees without leaves. To the wake, to the Great Lakes wake, leaves from trees, boarding leaf boats from trees without leaves. Trees without leaves, working for septic tank roots. Follow the leaves without trees, settling in pockets in the Great Lakes wake. To the leaves, in tree packs and forests. Trees without leaves, following leaves without trees. Pockets of trees. Trees without septic tank root balls. Trees boarding leaf boats in the Great Lakes wake. Leaves off trees, trees on leaves, septic tank root balls stranded. With pockets, I'll follow the trees without leaves, the Great Lakes wake. Trees boarding leaves without trees, from trees without leaves. I actually talked about fall, if you didn't get it.
Trees without leaves.
Just fall and leaves falling down and ending up in the lake. So. This one is a short story I wrote many years ago. It's sort of true, and it's called You, Me, and Sco. Michael left the dock, walking by the shops, and it's about me. Michael left the dock, walked by the shops to the shoreline, past the Grand Hotel, and up the steep road to the green where the summer people lived. Hey, Ed, the hedge looks good. Hey, Michael, yeah, I've been working on it round this brutal transitional area. It looks softer than last year, more innate. I didn't stretch string line this year. Is Audrey home? Nope, Sco's here though. And you're still painting the porch. Yep, and the grass needs cutting, Ed. Sco's roaded to grass cutting and porch painting. I'm roaded to the hedge. We can put you on cleaning and broken things, Rhoda. Well, I'm just here on vacation, Ed. Just listen to my Rhoda. Audrey's house is a 2-staff job set for 1.5 days. Today the hedge, this afternoon and tomorrow the porch, and then the party, and then the cleanup that night. Now we have 3 staff with you, me, and Sco, and this 2-staff job will only take a day and a half. We won't have to do any work until tonight. Well, I'll be gone by then, Ed. Oh, definitely. Audrey said no more visitors. And does Audrey still have you in the barn? We're restricted to the barn. The house and the porch are off limits. If you're on the porch, you must have a paintbrush in hand. That was Audrey's orders. Here's your paintbrush. Is the stove on? Stove and water's on. Audrey prepaid the bills this year. Well, that was smart. Audrey did hate all those disconnections last year. Yeah, even delivery was disconnected, and delivery is gratis with paid orders. Yeah, we had to walk for our beer last year. Yeah, every morning. That was miserable. Sco is the overseer this year. He oversees the food, the visitors, holding paintbrushes, the rota, the breakages, and the toilet paper. Audrey ordered me to oversee Ed, said Sco. And you guys have paper? Audrey bought crates of paper with instructions. Oh, that was smart. You should have made up a story to cover all those missing towels last year. I did, but Audrey found the evidence in the garbage pile. And this year we're hiding the garbage. Where are you hiding it? In the hedge. You aren't very good at hiding stuff, Ed. I can see the bags sticking out over there. Well, that's our garbage staging area for the real hiding place in the hedge. And the bags in the kitchen? Well, we just have to take the garbage out today. And all the garbage in the sink by the back door? We've got to bag that stuff yet. It's blocking the door, Ed. Well, it's just the back door. Hey, Sco's here going to be a godparent. Really? Is your sister Sam having a baby, Sco? Yep. And you're going to babysit and do diapers? Oh, yeah, Sco. Good godparents always do diapering. Diapering? What if I put the diaper on wrong? Well, I've never heard of anyone hurting a baby with a diaper, Sco. Yeah, but I don't know how to clean a baby or anything. You cleaned up Ed after that bathroom incident last summer. Yes, that was very good practice for taking care of babies. Oh, I could have taken care of myself, said Ed. No, you couldn't, said Michael and Sco together. Well, I'm very accountable. Yeah, who ordered 20 gallons of Naples yellow oil paint, Ed? Audrey told me to get that stuff. Well, you should have known she'd change her mind. Well, of course I knew if she was going to change her mind. Well, why'd you go and get it then? She would have killed me if I hadn't gone and got it. Well, she sure yelled at you when you did go and get it. Well, of course she did. I know she would. That sure was dumb, Ed. Well, I still don't know how to diaper, said Sco. Well, you just cover the butt, Sco. That's all you do. And the front part too? And the front part too. How do you cover a front part? Well, you get a cloth and I'll show you. How about a towel? A towel will work. Okay, and Sco ran off. Your hair got longer, Michael, said Ed. Yeah, I'm letting it go to see how it feels. Sco came back. Here's 5 towels and a screwdriver, said Sco. Your towels are too big. Rip it down here and here and it'll be okay. Now look, first you lay the thing out and then you fold it here and here. Is Sam using the cloth? I don't know anything about cloth, Michael. Well, I'm sure Sam's using cloth. Now look, you put the baby here, fold the front and clip it. Okay. Now look, see the legs go through here and the butt's here. Okay. Do you think you can do it now? I don't think I can do it, said Sco. Well, we need a baby. Ed, come on over here and lay down. Now look, first you need to have all your baby stuff at hand before you bring your baby over, because once you got the baby, you can't leave the baby for a second. Babies roll off changing tables. Oh my God, said Sco. Listen, don't worry. Just don't leave the baby alone on the changing table. Now lay out the diaper and fold over twice. Yeah. Now you just have to position it. Now sit here, Ed. Yeah. Now first you fold over this tail section, then double it over, and then just fold it over the front part of the baby. Excuse me, Ed. And then you pin it. Okay. Now notice the theory. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of cloth at the penis or vagina end to the 1 layer underneath at the butt. Now that should take care of piss work. Now at night, you could sneak in an extra small diaper inside the diaper proper to take care of the extra fluids nights usually generate. I hope it's a vagina, said Sco. I like vaginas, said Ed. Now notice, here the corners are free at the butt end of the diaper. These you pull over to the front and pin down, 1 in each corner. 2 is all you need. Do you have any safety pins, Ed? Vagina, said Ed. Now here, Sco, go and get some paper clips. Is it all right to leave the baby? Oh, I'll watch the baby. So Sco ran off. How does your hair feel now? Asked Ed. It feels longer. Sko came back. Here's 30 paper clips and a pair of pliers, said Sko. Good, now pretend it's a safety pin, Sko. It's shaped like a U and locked together with a big piece of plastic at the end. See, safety pin. Before this thing was invented, kids used to get stuck all the time. Oh my God, said Sko. Now calm down, Sko, it's nothing. Kids are tough. Now, this is important. Take your safety pin and push it through these two corners from the front and clip it together at the rear. So if it does get unfastened, the pin end won't do as much damage sticking out the back as it would sticking out the front. Oh my God. Now we'll have to do the other corner and everything's done. See how tight and see where it is? Now stand up, Ed. And see how there's no sagging and how it's all tight around the legs? Now turn around, Ed. Now see how high it's riding? It's a good fit, Michael, said Ed. Do you have any plastic baby pants, Ed? No. How about underwear? Nope. I'm wearing some, said Sko. Sko started taking off his underwear. Does your hair feel heavier, asked Ed. Yes, sometimes it pulls me more to the right than to the left. Sko gave Michael the underwear. Here's the underwear in a quarter. Thank you, Sko. Now, plastic pants must have a good tight seal to be free of tears or rips. Otherwise, you might as well not even use them at all. Now, all you do is slip them on, lay back down, Ed, please, like an old pair of underwear. And pick up your bed a little bit there, Ed. And make sure all the diaper is completely enclosed in the plastic. The wetness will just wick out if any of the diaper is sticking out. Now it's all tight. You can get up out of that, Ed. Ed said, oh, it's very comfortable. Okay, now, Sko, it's your turn. Change Ed. I don't know how to do that. Sure you do. Now lay down, Ed. Well, I'm not wet, Michael. Michael poured coffee inside Ed's diaper. Oh, that is uncomfortable, said Ed. What do I do now? Said Sko. Sko, act. Ed is uncomfortable. I'll tell you what to do if you're doing it wrong. Should I take off the underwear first? Yeah, they're plastic pants, but yes, take them off first. Okay, then the pins. Yes, and the diaper. What a mess. The grinds are everywhere. Yes, in fact, baby poop spreads out in a similar manner and has a similar consistency as coffee grounds. It's never hard like ours. What a mess. Leave it alone. Just put a clean diaper on me, said Ed. But you're a mess, Ed. Normally, you'd have to clean out every fold of skin with baby wipes to get all the poop out. Get out, Sko. Leave it, said Ed. But Ed, said Sko. Babies usually cry when changed, but you have to clean them out or an infection could set in. Oh my God. So, Sko, I swear, just leave me alone. With bigger babies, I've had someone hold the shoulders down while I do the changing. Get away, Sko. Watch out, get him. I'm fine, just put a diaper on me. Man, having a baby is tough, said Sko. I'm through with being the baby, said Ed. But Ed, I'm hungry, I want to eat, said Ed. But Ed, you've got to be changed first, said Sko. Vagina. Ed, you're leaving a mess everywhere. Go get him, Sko, whispered Michael. Do babies do this all the time? All the time. Go get him. So Sko tackled Ed and pulled him down. Michael ran over and held the shoulders while Sko changed him. Wah! Screamed Ed. Good diaper placement. Fold it over, get. Good, get the pin. Put your knee on those legs. Good. Now pin from the front to the back. Okay, now good. Now, the plastic pants. Here, tuck it in. Good. Now, 1, 2, 3, let it go. Michael and Sko jumped away. Ed sprang up and ran around the house. Go get Ed! Sko disappeared around the house running after Ed. Very soon Ed appeared again with Sko following. Sko, Ed's having a temper tantrum. Just let him go. But what if the baby gets hurt? Baby won't get hurt. There's nothing dangerous here. Ed's going pretty fast. Diaper's staying. Yeah, you did a good job, Sko. Look at that baby go. How long do these temper tantrums last? Temp tamps can last up to an hour. Shouldn't we try to stop it? No, that's just what babies want you to do. Negative attention-seeking behavior. NASB. You don't want to reinforce that. Ed's screaming now. Yeah, crying is good for babies. It's good exercise for babies. Boy, babies are a lot of work. It gets worse when they turn into teenagers, Sko. Boy, having a teenager must be awful if they're worse than a baby. Yeah, but it's rewarding, all the work somehow.
Oh. I don't think that was loud enough. Please get up one more time for Michael. Oh my God. Was I just being the idiot? Having babies hard. Having a teenager is worse. Sorry, but that was awesome. That was very, very good. And I don't have the information about future features, but I've already said it once before. chaoticarts.org/The Cafe has a list for 2014 features.
one of the people that's going to be reading here is featuring in 2 weeks. Con 2 with the next thing with Deborah Rosen. Yay, Deborah Rosen! Yeah! And we got a lot of stuff that's set up in 2014. I was going to say there is one other person that was going to come up, unless you want to go up right now? All right. Well, we're going to bring her up right now. Do you have a lot of stuff you want to read? We're all good. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Deborah Rosen.
Hi, I'm going to be reading my new book, Sightseer, which is all my travel poems. But this time I'm going to read a couple of poems from Rhino. I'm one of the editors, and it's going to be a terrific issue.
Read into that mic.
Terrific issue.
Eat that microphone.
I'm sorry, Rhino. My first, I'm going to read from Kathleen McGookie. I wait. Like an egg for you. You do not come through the field, boots soaked and wet. You do not crouch in the dust or the mist that rises to the horizon. I've unlocked my window and put on my red scarf. I've wrapped up my nightmare and left it by the door. Here's a candle. Here's a sandwich. Here's your antique dresser in the garage. Drawers jammed with photos and other trays. What do you make of it? What do you make of me now? Your journey can't be easy. Let your fingers grow eyes. Let all those eyes fill with tears. I am flying a bright flock of kites to you so you can find your way back to me. I'm sorry, I just was doing this on the spur of the moment. What the net forgets, the water remembers. In this wake, open water, churning and roiling, pinning minnows to the boathouse, shredding the hummingbirds' spinnakers. In this wake, yellow knobs on lily pads, flat faces waxy in the shallows, the wedding bouquets of dead girls. The cloudy veil rises off the pines south of us. In this wake, a dead bass, eyes bulging, not much left for fish to feed on. You netted him, shoveled him under behind the garage. Along the shore, a border of stargazers, white shoulders stained from their furry stamens. The grass grows orange. A line breaks loose from its cleat, flaps like grace in a slack wind. We continued our stubborn tack. No way home but that cold run-down wind. Waves break over our legs, pooling warm as blood in the bottom of the boat. And I'll just read one more. I don't remember this poem, but it's to God. The first adieu is always a cry after the gut. The others are a flight of birds racing toward where love is a locust, always, everywhere.
And that gives you a little taste of what an awesome feature will be like from a Deborah Rosen in 2 weeks, which is a perfect thing right before Christmas time. We're all going to be getting together and all cozy and stuff. Awesome. It really will. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm looking at my schedule, which I forgot to bring before, because I said, oh yeah, she's coming up in 2 weeks. And yes, for those who are wondering, no, because some Wednesdays we're not getting together on Christmas Day or New Year's Day. If it was every other week, well, I guess New Year's Day we would be here, but I'm going to be out of town. If anybody wants to come by, and I don't know what's going on here, but we're every other week, but in schedule normally that would mean the first. And I'm going to be out of town. She's looking at me. Hi, Tressa. Every other week, the first would be it, but I don't have anything scheduled for the first, is all I'm saying. Okay. So, if they have nothing going on and you want to come by and read poems really early, go right ahead and have a big old band on New Year's Day. I have no idea what's going on. But we've got a lot of people that have filled it out. We've got Patrick Hurley, which I didn't even see today, which makes me sad. Alan Jones. We've got Marianne Schaefer, Elizabeth Marino, Tom Roby, Jeanine Remison. We've got a Danish band coming in April. We've got a lot of stuff going on, and we've got some, May is filled, most of April, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And in fact, if anybody's interested, the beginning of June, it's open, June 4th, but it also happens to be, because I talk about my literary magazine, the 21-year anniversary issue release of cc&d magazine. So I might bring a little cake, and we can all have a beer and celebrate that cc&d magazine is old enough to drink now, or something. I don't know. And we can all read something from there. But
play 21.
Pardon me?
Play 21. You have a blackjack.
Yes, well, yes. If everybody wants to do that instead of read poetry, they're more than welcome to, I suppose. Or if you've got anything writing about it, what, it doesn't matter. The people that I've got Anthony that's going to come up, but I've got Gerry that's going to come up after that. And if anybody wanted to read anything afterward,
Mr. Reynolds.
That would be Gerry.
Oh, and then
Gerry Reynolds, Gerry with a G.
Is it Gerry also?
Oh, well, because those are the two people that I know that haven't been able to read yet. They're coming up. And if there's anybody that wants to come afterward, but in the meantime, because I'm losing my breath, please. And I love the fact that he decorated his face even for this. Please give it up for Anthony. Come on, everybody, give it up for
us. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. These poems I'm going to read to you are from a book called Railroad Ties and Universal Skies. It's an indie book of poems I wrote. The first one is called The Simple Things. The simple things in life are usually silent, like watching your dog's feet kick as he dreams, or holding your soulmate, no gaps between. Let me take you through things unnoticed. If you are not careful, you will miss that one moment. There to show you everything through a simple thing. Forever locked in time like the trees that sway, speaking language of a different day, told by things that have no means to say. We are here now, but in a different way. This next one is called Symphony of Seagulls. Those who died are never gone. They exist in the birds singing songs. For me, they exist in the simple things and passing days of winter through spring. Like waves that crash the rocks, a symphony of life's yield. As for me, I've always been stone. But even if I break, leaving shards, someone with an eye will notice the barbs. Like tentacles, time really never passes, but develops grime. This last one's called We. I was inspired to do this by this young man back here and kind of had a comedic approach. This one's called We. It's by memory, so bear with me. Watching a child swung by his father's arms. How I think, the boy's life is wee. How I wish my life was wee. Pondering on a crate, chain smoking. Thinking of the differences between the two of us. The boy has a very innocent, beautiful we, and I have a just jaded, disgraceful we. Sometimes I notice things are wrong long before I do them, but then I just forget and go, we. To all problems and all pain, I say we. And to all authority, I we on them. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome.
Oh, that was awesome. Hey, skirts away. Thank you very much. And if you weren't here at the beginning of the evening, I had told people that we are in cahoots with the NSA because we like to video record what's going on. You think that you're safe and that you can have some privacy, but we do video record these open mics, and it would be released as a podcast and on YouTube. And if you screen, and I see him nodding, yeah, okay, that's good, that's good. Not everybody says it, but I want to be able to preface that to everybody. And I know this man hates having his face on camera, but please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Gerry Reymolds. Gerry, get on up there.
This man is funny. Hey, you.
The secret to a long and happy life is whispered by elders to their loved ones. Female animals that have been granted the opportunity or taken upon themselves to have children are called bitches. My mother was a working woman. And my obituary will explain how much I owe that bitch. It might include you, but the rest will be airy. Because it's an obituary. I'll be dead by the time it happens. Some of the people in this room might have heard this before. It's an actually true story. Forget the beard for a moment. Just think about it. You can close your eyes if you want to, and one of my friends will be stealing wallets. This is The Night Before Christmas by Gerry Reynolds. It is not A Visit by St. Nicholas by Ambrose Bierce. This is The Night Before Christmas. Get me home by Christmas, I told the road that night, when winter threw a storm my way and everything was white. The icy patches looked the same as places they were not. I slowly drove. I cursed a bit. I also prayed a lot. I fishtailed nearly half the way when somehow, through the snow, I saw the shape of something like a car that would go. I found I was mistaken as I veered off to the right, where I landed in a snowdrift, of at least a foot in height. The wheels just went in circles when I tried to back it out, so I gently put the car in first to find another route. Again, the car just stayed there. I whipped into the horn because I knew I'd never find a tow this hour on Christmas morn. I climbed outside to clear a path and try to get it going, but the north wind blew it all right back and the sky just kept on snowing. My hands froze around the shovel when the tinkling of a bell made me turn my head and wonder, and I knew that all was well. It was Santa and some other elves, the reindeer in the sleigh. They pointed at me for the team to turn and come my way. It took them but a moment to hitch me to the pack and drag me for a mile or so to get me back on track. And while the others loosed the reins, St. Nick called out to me, to say that he had something that he wanted me to see. Well, at my home, much earlier on this, his busiest night, he found a note requesting him to help me if he might. You see, the folks at home were worrying and looking after me, which would make the finest present under any Christmas tree. Happy holidays.
This one, if you would read 2 lines.
I get to read 2 lines.
2 lines.
I would. This is the 2013 thing, and there was 2 lines in it. And I just because these 2 lines.
I'm not occupying Wall Street. I just want to occupy your mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Gerry. Is there anybody that wanted to come up for reading? I've read way too much this evening. I'm going to give a call out. Who is there? Anybody? Is there a Jerry Pendergast? I can't see people because there's
Somebody
no
should do a song since they're not even singer-songwriter.
We got some songs coming.
We've got songs coming at 10:30 or something, yes. I mean, I could be doing poems that are sung, but that doesn't need to be. Is there anybody that wants anything done? Anybody? Calling once, calling
Tipping the bartender!
Oh, well, I don't know if that's a poem, but that is a rule that we should all do. Please, please, refill your drinks and give it up for Tressa because we want to keep her extra busy. I don't want to... Definitely. And thank this wonderful place. Thank you, Gallery Cabaret. Thank you so very much. And in 2 weeks, you just got to hear a little taste of the Deborah Rosen here. You would have her as a feature, and it would be a wonderful nightcap for the year for us before we start 2014 again with poetry. And thank you all so very much. I look forward to seeing each of you and even more in just 2 weeks. Thank you.